on, Lee? I can't hear a word you're saying.
It is on.
Well, then speak louder.
Please.
Please. Thank you. Sorry, Craig.
Before we go any further, I think we as a board, because it is policy, should decide what we want to do as a board. And I'll start off by saying that, well, I'm going to use Bohemia Civic as an example. Bohemia Civic, Connetquot Civic, Oakdale Civic, any civics, anyone having to take care of Connetquot as a whole, not schools, should be allowed to use our premises. This is just me speaking. Anyone that is charging people to use our property and keeping that money in their pocket and not reimbursing Connetquot for the usage of doing that, not having 60% of students, is another criteria. But I personally believe anyone that is part of Connetquot, that pays taxes in Connetquot, like the coalition comes here and uses our property, they don't have to do anything. They don't need to fill out any applications or whatever, just a usage, I'm guessing.
Yes, they can fill out usage form.
Right, that's it. So why, they're not any different than a Bohemia Civic or a Connetquot Civic. So I think before we drive everyone else crazy here and we all get angry with each other, we should decide as a board, what do we want to see in this policy? We don't want to hurt our community members, but we don't want our community members being raped by outsiders overcharging and not paying us for what we used to be doing.
Well, one of the things I wanted, well, I've got a lot of things to address on this particular topic, but one in particular is you have parents that use the gym for recreational use. Now, in the policy, it does say under special use recreational. Why can't we include in that piece to add a waiver? So those parents that do want to use the gym after hours when the kids are home and they want to use it for volleyball or basketball, whatever it is, can we put a waiver in the policy so that they sign the waiver and identifies us from any liability? Ms. Adams?
I don't know, I think that's a legal question.
Yeah, it's a legal question. I don't think waivers fly too far.
Anyway, so can you make a notation so that?
That's a legal question.
Well, I'm just, this policy actually is, it makes me nervous in a lot of ways because the public use of our facility opens us up to the potential of liability. And I think Mr. Garcia was here a few meetings ago and he actually offered to do a legal workshop for the board, and this might be one that would be perfect for him to lead us through an exercise to look at all the different points, because it is a very detailed policy. And it's 8 pages and it has exhibits and it's got regulations, and it makes me very nervous to think of creating a waiver because I have no idea what kind of exposure to liability that opens us up to. You know, there were reasons why, and I wasn't here, and I don't know who wrote this, but there were reasons why someone asked for insurance for every group that uses it, and 501c3 for every group that uses it, and I really would like to hear the
policy.
Say
Not everybody's following the policy, so it's there,
That's
but
right.
everybody's following it. So again, so now you want to do this legal retreat. So am I hurting Bohemia? Am I hurting the moms and dads that want to use the gym for recreational use?
You know, I was under the impression, because years ago, a bunch of boys graduated from Connetquot wanted to use the gym for basketball. They were told no because they needed insurance, while others did use it. Now, I don't know who the others were, but there were teachers that would come every week or every morning and use it, but they were teachers. So, did they have insurance? I don't know. You know, it gets a little confusing, so I do think we need legal counsel. But I think the idea is that we really don't want to hurt our civics, coalition, anyone like that to use our facility. They pay taxes. That's just my feeling. This has nothing to do with tripping on a step, because we'd be sued if someone tripped over a step anyway. So, you know, we have to use common sense here.
Again, my own personal opinion with field usage, I agree with you. Anybody who, like you just said, a taxpayer who lives in this district, I want them to be able to use every facility. But in my opinion, first and foremost, the children of this community, kids that attend Connetquot, they should have first choice, in my opinion, over anyone else that uses our fields or our gyms.
I don't
And that's
disagree with
including adults. Our children should have first choice, just my opinion. You know, I've heard rumors that some youth organizations were told they couldn't use, there was no access to any gym because they were all filled up. And that's our youth organization. That can't happen. So,
So were they filled up with who? Who's occupying?
we all know who's
I don't
occupying, there's many, many groups.
And the groups are-
Some
and the groups I'm
some are
referring to,
adult
like-
groups.
The groups I'm referring to are using the facilities at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
which don't interfere with our children.
Well,
Well, I think
Doesn't.
maybe you're right, Dr. Adams, that you should sit with the attorney
yes.
and decide and move this along the right way and make decisions, who's doing all this. And then let me ask you another question. How do you know that a club has requested using a room for a night? How do you know that? Who knows that? Who oversees that?
You're talking about a gym or a room?
A club, a booster club, a hockey club, or whatever club, how do you know that they filled a request?
Well, what we've since found out is that anything that was a use of a facility or use of a gymnasium, pool, or an external field was done by the athletic director's office. But anyone who was just using classrooms, or it was done by the front office of each building. So it was even done in different places. And this has opened up our eyes as to how this was not really, we might have been following the letter of the policy, but we were certainly not following the letter of the regulation. And regulations are administrative regulations, and it is a very detailed document. As I said, when I read some of these things, they even counteract each other in certain spots. So I think in order for us to really look at it and make sure that our public is having appropriate access to all the facilities, our kids clubs first, and then our adults that are stakeholders, I really think it would be best to go point by point with Mr. Garcia or one of his members of the staff and just really look at it and make sure that
So in the meantime, we're putting a hold on anybody that doesn't have those qualifications.
Right now, it's in the regulation that any organization who is applying needs to have the form, a certificate of insurance named in the Connetquot Central School District, an endorsement from the insurance broker, an IRS 501c3.
So everybody who's using our facilities presently has everything. So
That's
the
what-
pool has it, the pool club has it.
That's
the
what
club
we're
has
working
it.
towards right now.
No, do they have it? Because then technically they shouldn't be using it, so.
I'm gonna ask you to turn to Mrs. Donnelly because she has a spreadsheet of what she's been working on with her staff, and
And
it's
by the
quite
way, getting
exciting.
on that pool thing, I'm a Sable resident, even though I'm in Connetquot District, and we can use the Sable pool. There's a calendar of when we can use that pool,
Mhm.
the residents of Sable. So do we have that for our pool here at Connetquot?
No, we don't, and that's another thing that this has opened up our eyes to.
Because I don't think it's fair to us who pays for that pool. We're
It's
taxpayers
it's something
here.
that you can give seniors, that, giving back.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of different things that the really deep dive into this policy is necessary. Because I agree with you, I live in Three Village, the seniors in the district can go from 6 to 7:30 every morning and swim every morning, free of charge. They get a little gold pass when they prove their residency, so they can go every morning and swim. And then there's lessons that we do, but it's through the school district. And then there's open nights where the kids, a family swim, and we do that through the school district.
So I don't know why you're not doing that either.
Well,
That's something we may be looking at.
Many of you are looking at all of this because what's going on is not good.
And that's one of the reasons why I thought maybe we wanted to look at, as a board, a facilities goal. You know, how do we look at the facilities for our updating for our potential capital projects, as well as the utilization of it by our buildings and our groups.
So I would get more about starting the city.
So the swim club does have a non-profit status. What is the status? Meaning they're in the midst of it, or they have it?
Where are you seeing that?
The discretion for district insurance.
Yes. Says
Well, status is, when you add the word status, it means something that is, it could be a transition, so it's not a yes or no, it could
Yeah, they
be.
have it, yes or no.
What is their status, yes or no? They have it or not?
That means yes.
Unfortunately, this process may take a long time, but it's very important that we look carefully at it. We don't hurt our people that are currently using our schools, but we obviously protect the school district and the taxpayers against liabilities, things like that. That's not going to be an easy process now that the proverbial floodgates have been opened.
How about not anybody making profits on our citizens here?
The last thing I want to do is hurt any of our groups that.
What is Connetquot Youth Association, summer baseball, what is that? Is that
CYA.
Connetquot students?
Where is that, what number?
5.
5?
Yeah,
That's the group that tends to use the field
CYA.
behind that field.
It's out of Connecticut.
They're all Connetquot kids?
95%, yeah,
So
90.
that's the first criteria, so that's okay.
Right.
So for example, we're not letting, are we letting St. John and St. Joe's use our facility?
Yeah, they have 70%, more than 60% of our students.
No, they don't.
St. John's?
St.
Joe's.
St.
St.
Joe's.
John's does.
St. John's does. St. Joe's does.
Yes, it does, has 70%.
Yeah, you
I looked
should really
into it.
look into that one.
I did look into it.
It's mostly Sachem.
Eileen, it's not. It's absolutely not.
St. Joe's?
No, St. Joe's is not.
Mostly
It is
not. I've
mostly
coached
St.
in the league and I have.
Is it, is it 60%?
I would say
Or is
70%.
it half and half?
70%, I would
Yeah?
say.
Very
If you go to any basketball night, it's all.
It used to be 50-50.
It's not anymore.
I will get a date. So what I'm hearing is that I will get a date from Mr. Garcia for us all to get
Yes.
together and
In the
walk through the
meantime, we're
policy.
saying no to civic, we're saying no to all these groups. We're saying no to mom and dad that want to play.
The mom and dad that wants to play, I'm very nervous about, because if mom and dad go out to play and they're not insured, they
That's why
increase
she's
our.
lucky they do a waiver.
Yes, I agree with that.
Suppose
But
we have
the-
the insurance.
The civic should
Right,
go,
But
yeah,
the
the
civic,
I don't
I,
understand that.
So, the one thing that the board can do as part of your policy is that you can reserve the right to waive all fees and costs associated with the policy. So if you want to name a few groups that you are believing are just meeting, and you want to waive the fees and costs, that would waive, I'm guessing, because once again, I'm not a lawyer, that would waive the cost incurred by that organization for having to get the insurance policy. But I really would like to pass that by.
I want to hear that language from, I want to hear that from Garcia.
Me too. It makes me.
well, we have 3 civic organizations in this district, so
Yes.
all 3, as long as they're all doing the same thing, then that's how you do it.
I don't have a problem.
Sharon, where are the civics? Are they not on this form at this point?
Civics.
The civic associations, are they on the form?
Do you see them now?
No, I don't.
It's probably just that, I don't know, I should have put it on. I don't know.
As long as all 3 are all doing the same
Is it
thing.
that they're not 503Cs or is it that they don't have insurance?
The insurance is the issue.
For all 3 of them, Sharon?
I haven't received any paperwork from the others, just from Bohemia. Just the thing from Bohemia to waive it.
So I say we continue to let them use it, but whatever policy, whatever we want them to get, we give them time to make sure they get it. That's what we decide.
I think we should use, they've been using it all these years.
I agree.
And they do not, and they're due, it's for the right reasons. It's about community.
Yes, it is.
So I need to know what, and actually
We should-
Sharon at this point
maybe we
needs to
draw
know
that line.
what we're, yeah.
We draw that line to the civics or where we draw that line?
Well, is
Well,
there a problem with anyone else, or?
if there's I think anyone that has worked, that has an organization that is helping our community covers Bohemia, Ronkonkoma, and Oakdale, right?
And West
Yes.
End.
The coalition, the coalition uses our property, and they represent our district, both, they're all different right?
Yes,
So they're no different than a Bohemia Civic, actually.
a coalition.
Correct, they're no different.
We're just talking indoor activities now, like classroom usage?
I'm not talking
We're
about,
not talking sports.
we're not talking sports
So
right now.
a
That's
meeting held in a classroom
We're just
of
talking
adults.
meetings of groups that are held in classrooms that are using our classrooms.
facility to help our district.
Auditoriums, not just
Can I just get that from Greg as a kind of a waiver from the regulation? I'll call him tomorrow first thing, okay?
And also, is my interpretation of 60%, meaning our personal children are 60% of the roster?
Yes, you know, not, and Sachem has 90%, so we're not that strict.
Should be,
Pardon?
should be.
Well, we're not that strict and we're having a lot of problems.
We're being
okay?
told there's no room in any schools for anything.
Well, we're
That's all.
hoping to change that. You know, we're trying to do it the right way through policy, we're looking to change that. I'm tired of the abuses that are being done, people not seeing what's going on. And it's not this administration's fault, but we found out now, and I'm really not happy with what's going on.
But with the
And
organization that we have insurance, right?
Pardon?
I'm one of these parents that uses the gym, play basketball on Mondays, bay basketball.
You have insurance.
Yes, we have insurance.
I
but
thought
don't have
so.
a 501(c)(3).
You don't need a 501(c). Are you Connetquot,
Yes.
parents?
Yeah, 100% connected.
So I don't see that being a problem.
Sounds like we have to suspend that.
But Linda, you just said before they don't have insurance, so these guys have insurance.
I thought
There's lots of groups
No,
that don't have insurance.
There's different levels now.
No, but you're the dads I'm referring to, right?
Yes, correct. We have insurance. We've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
We
if they have
every year.
insurance,
Right,
then
so
facility.
they're not an organization, so why would they need a 501c3?
They're
Because
100%.
that's in the policy, so right now, you've asked us to take the policy and actually make sure that we are applying the policy equitably to all
But it wasn't
groups.
meant to hurt that gentleman in the.
I'm
No,
not,
no.
I'm
I
just
know
putting
you-
into
I know what you're
place
saying.
what you're asking me to do. I don't wanna hurt anybody, I'd love to give everybody the rights to come on, they're the stakeholders that make our community great. But right now, you've asked us to look at this policy and equitably apply it, and that means right there, and I would love, let's rescind it right now, but then you have a free-for-all. So I think we need legal guidance, because at this point, our regulation states any organization needs required forms.
So they're not an organization,
But
they're
let me
parents.
ask you this, let me ask you this.
Linda, they're not an
This
organization,
particular-
they're
I
parents.
understand that, but then I'm gonna have inequitable application of the policy again. And really what you said to me, what you all said to me and Sharon, and she spent hundreds and hundreds of hours doing this, is equitable application of the policy. You don't like the policy, change the policy. But I wanna change the policy with Greg saying, you're opening yourself up to liability if you do that. This is fine, this is gonna be a problem. I'd really like legal counsel to do that because that is not my area of expertise, and right now, all you've asked me to do, and Sharon is taking the bulk of this, is equitably apply this policy. Now we're looking to make exceptions. That's what got us in trouble to begin with.
But let me ask you
I'm
this
not
question.
asking you to make an
Wait,
exception.
Let me ask, listen to this question. I was under the impression that if it's more than 60% Connetquot, I'm not just talking about students. In this particular case, it's 100% Connetquot.
Right.
They have insurance. I didn't know they needed a 501.
Yeah, that's what the policy says.
It used to be that the policy used to be 501c3 and over 60%. Insurance was based on the board's discretion, and that was based on the level of activity. If you had adults sitting in a room, you didn't need insurance. If you had people playing basketball, sorry, no offense, just gonna use you, that could be a liability, that they would need insurance.
Right,
That's how
they
it
would need
used
a
to be.
501.
Just
I
wanted
don't
to
see
throw
why
that
they
out there.
need a 501.
Right now, it's on the boxes to check.
So can we ask Greg
That's
if we can, a part of amending that is possibly just adding,
Levels of activity,
yeah,
levels of
activities.
use, levels of who's part of
If
the
the
group.
group is collecting
Recreational.
for insurance only and for no other reason, just that's the person they're collecting, there's no reason for them to be a 501c. They're only
Right.
collecting to pay the
That was my
insurance
argument
for the liability. You know, that group,
That
that
makes sense.
group should fall under a different category.
That was my argument,
That's
that's why I said I was.
I'm just before the policy.
I completely agree with you between speaking of profit using
Exactly.
versus who's just using the facility for recreation.
Well, I think that's what,
You need to put
Profit is
definitions in, I think there has to be, levels of definition for usage.
I've already said all this through the email, that insurance should be enough. A recreational group, insurance should be enough. They're not looking to raise money, they're not an organization.
I already have an email to Mr. Garcia, so I will get dates as soon as possible, and I will ask him to look at this language with me tomorrow.
We'll try to move as quickly as we can to resolve.
So, Sharon, on this
Sorry
list,
for
the
the
ones
inconvenience.
that have the date are the only ones that are using our facilities?
They're the only ones that have been approved. There could be people who haven't asked permission and are just using it. I only know about the ones who are asking me and submitting through the athletics office or the individual buildings. And then it comes to
Sharon, all of these organizations, right now, they are using our facilities?
No, the ones which she's saying is with the dates, SD 912, 9216, SD 9216.
That means that they were approved.
Yes.
So if there's no numbers there, we're not giving them authorization.
Right, because they have a problem with the preceding boxes, the reds are trouble.
Do you know offhand what groups are being affected right now?
The ones that are in red.
In red, they're being affected right now?
Yes.
Correct. This gentleman's group.
Boy Scout Troop 4 through 9, they've been using it
For
many
years.
Well, the summer baseball, that's over, so that's not being affected. Correct, number 5?
That was what we started.
Right.
So our cheerleaders right now aren't able to use our fields?
This is the PAL cheerleaders.
We're not,
Oh,
I'm not out there,
Connetquot youth football.
yeah. This means they don't have a permit.
They have red, they don't have a permit.
Are boys of summer, not on here anymore?
Who's the front
Number two.
men's basketball?
Pardon?
It's number 2.
Excuse me?
Name of your
Oakdale. Oakdale men's basketball.
Oakdale men's basketball.
How come they can use
I'm
it?
just missing the 501(c)(3).
Yeah, that's all, there's 3 groups here, all basketball, Oakdale men's basketball, Ronkonkoma men's basketball, Eastside men's basketball, all the same situation. What is Eastside?
How can they?
Sunrise Little League, they've been around since I was a child.
Yeah,
Connetquot boys of summer.
We gotta get this fixed.
What do you mean varsity
Why do you
football and
think these emails are
lacrosse?
going back and forth? They've been talking about this over the summer.
What's
that
21,
this was gonna
varsity
be a
football and
problem now.
lacrosse?
I think that's intramurals, I'm not actually clear on that one, that's what my notes said on the floor, right?
Can I ask you a question?
I think there are schools for however, perhaps not in the summer.
What's friends volleyball?
But it wasn't that way this summer.
That's like a group of people getting together and playing volleyball. They say that they're not for profit,
Who's
but
gonna
they're not
oversee that?
officially designated as
Who's gonna
such.
oversee that?
Alright.
Oh, gosh.
Who brought this all up?
Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. It was an inquiry made into the Boys of Summer, which ironically, the Boys of Summer have all 3 of their paperwork pieces in and are allowed to use our fields.
Alright, we ready to move forward?
Last thing I'll do is hurt our residents. Yeah.
What's the status on that? You guys gonna, just so,
We have to meet with our attorneys and we will try to get it done as quickly as possible to change the policy to reflect that the groups that are in Connetquot can use it without any implications moving forward.
thank you.
As long as no children programs are gonna use it.
No, it's-
But they have to stop playing until it all gets fixed.
Yep, nobody can use it unless they're.
Unfortunately, that's what the policy says. It is a
Unless
shame.
we waive that.
Big shame.
It is a shame. But we waive the policy about chaos. It is a shame.
Alright,
100% right.
we're gonna move to public comment.